all made and down tight over your ears. So take it away, Dave and Mackie.
Tap, tap, tap. Is this thing on? This is Dave.
And Mackie.
This is our Shiny Side Out on WZZR, coming to you from Australia for Revolution Radio on freedomslips.com. And you know that it's home to fresh, unfiltered ideas and conversations that you'll find inside the chat room. And freedomslips.com is also a great place to get your merch. This is show number 552.
2, 5, and 5. Get your sloppy seconds here.
Oh dear. Yes. Because the internet is for something. Catch us on air. The internet is for. So catch us on air, online, and anywhere on your smart device. So grab an app to listen anywhere, or just sit at home and listen to a Grace Tabletop Digital Radio. If you miss Solaris' show with Renee Colston, you missed a great show. That's Solaris' awesome show. Goodness me. And they'll talk about animal healing. Look, so many important things in our lives with all these crazy things going on around us, geopolitically. We should focus on the simple things, on the things that make us better people. And I think that's one of those things. And my hat goes off to you. Thank you very much, Solaris, for entertaining us, informing us, and having great guests as usual. However, not in a however on how awesome she is, because she's just awesome. You know what? If you don't know who we're talking about when I say Solaris Blue Raven, you can Google her. She's an author. She's been in documentaries. She's had her own experiences, which are just phenomenal. And I have to say, she's a brave lady. And if you don't investigate her shows by two ways, one, you can listen to Revolution Radio in the 2 hours prior to when we come on air, or you can just simply jump into the archives and you can download a whole bunch of them. And they come in MP3 format, so they're really easy to listen to on any smart device because they just play them by default, right? Basically, all the new smart devices, basically, copies of an iPod from those times gone by. You remember when they used to be wood grain? The old iPod. Anyway, it's free to access the archives, so jump in there and grab her shows. But not only will you find Solaris Blue Raven shows, you'll find Shiny Side Out, you'll find our other show, Plato's Cave. You can catch that on, hey, listen to the segue. Catch that on the Tuesday and the Thursday morning or noon or night, whatever time zone is, on Tuesdays. But you'll find all of the host shows on Revolution Radio. Now, if you like anything that Revolution Radio provides you, I suppose, it's information really, or conversations. If you're entertained by any of it, please donate. And you can donate by either buying merch, you can donate directly through almost any medium that is known to humanity. You can become a Patreon. And in the old days, you could just simply subscribe to the archives. But yeah, it's free now, so do what you need to do. Now, welcome to country. I'm broadcasting out of Darkinjung country. Mackie, how about you?
The Rock country, my friend.
Yes. And we did the research to find out who the traditional custodians of land were, I suppose are, because the mobs still exist. Whether or not they're there, the regions are still regions. No one's changing the lines on the map. So do that for yourself. Understand who the traditional owners of the land are or were, in whichever case, and find out more about them. Find out how they lived on the land. Because with all this crazy stuff going on in the world, you may need to know that. And I don't mean prepping for a first world country. I mean prepping for a third world country where there is nothing, where your resources and whatever you can make, whatever you can do. I think that's really super important. And that's kind of a segue out of my final phrase that Meki and I pay our respects to elders past, present, and future. So, sorry guys, last week I was at the Bathurst 1000 race, the last of the Holdens on the mountain. They won't be there again because they're moving to a different platform, and it'll be Mustangs versus Camaros. The Holden brand itself closed many years ago, and so did the local Ford brand. And it's the end of an era in some ways, and a new one in others. But we'll have to see whether the diehard fans are just going up to the mountain to escape their normal day-to-day issues as a holiday, or are they going there to watch their favorite drivers, or are they going there to support a specific vehicle brand? And that's going to be a new thing that happens. So imagine, Meki, in the Formula One, if they went to EVs instead, what would that do for the sport? If
would just kill it.
The MotoGP, if that went to EVs, like mopeds, right? What would happen to the sport? It would die. It would die a very quick death. So I'm not saying that the V8 supercars are going to be EVs anytime soon. They talked about this push to pass thing and a whole bunch of, little button you can press that accelerates the car momentarily, or maybe for 10 seconds worth or something like that. And they decided not to. So it's probably not too far away. And, imagine the, 8.5 hours of changing the batteries over. Because you'd run out of battery real quick if you're racing with a floor of batteries. That would be terrible. I mean, the race could go for weeks, right? Because you do, 30 laps, and you've got to come in for an 8-hour change of batteries. That to me is hilarious. Anyway, Meki, how are you?
I'm good, my friend. I can't complain. How I am. Feeling a bit.
I'm not complaining.
I feel a bit dusty. I went to my brother-in-law's Bucks night last night, but suffice it to say, no, it was done by 10:30, pretty much.
Oh, wow!
We're all grandpas, you can't really. There's no staying power, my friend. No, otherwise good. There's a few things that are going on, obviously, in the world right now, which are just crazy. But I you just look at it and you go, what else can we do? What else can we say? You keep looking at it and you shake your head in disbelief, and yet it continues on. The insanity just this is from the small insanity to the large insanity. The insanity you encounter every day. The guy that doesn't let you in traffic, there's meant to be the zipper principle, but the guy, nah, I'm not going to let you in because I value my 2 meters. It's my 2 meters, man. Mine. You can't have it. Okay, you win.
Sure.
To the big insanity, which is Ukraine, and not just the Ukraine, but you look at people holding onto power longer than they really should.
Oh, the people who vote themselves in forever.
Well, Mr. Xi Jinping is going for a unprecedented third term.
That's right.
Power in China. It's never happened before.
No. Well, Putin created the role for himself that he could stay there indefinitely.
Yes. Isn't that amazing? Yes, he did.
Woohoo!
Yes, he did. That is what happened. But look, we are where we are. It is what it is. And
that's
I did want to say
we've
though,
always wanted.
Yeah, we're going to try to get. We are going to try to get Solaris on the show as well.
Yes,
with us, because she's published a few things since we've last spoken to her. So it'd be good to catch up on that.
Yeah,
we will
absolutely 100%.
Yeah. Look, to her credit, what she does is she brings her guests on. She doesn't really talk about herself at all on the show. right? I mean, unless it comes up, but it's really about the guests, the questions, etc., etc. So we want to, well, give her a bit of a. Hopefully, I mean, she does have a platform anyway, but give a bit
She
more
does.
platform to.
You're absolutely right. You are right. And look, she's always willing to be on the show.
Yeah, she's great.
We
She's
kind
really
of
great.
try to make it the 0-0 shows.
Yeah.
So the 100,
Absolutely.
200, 300, 400, 500. I can't believe we're going to be coming up on the 600. And that's going to be a great show.
Brother.
If electricity still exists.
If just he reminds me of a quote, alleged quote. Einstein was asked, "What weapons are we going to use in World War III?" And he goes, "I have no idea, but I can tell you what we're going to use in World War IV." "Oh, really?" says the reporter. What? Sticks and stones, my friend. Sticks and stones. What we're going to use. But yeah. So look, we're a fraction before midnight, a fraction of a second. It's not 1 minute, it's not 2 minutes, it's not 30 seconds, it's not 10 seconds to midnight.
This is a hair trigger now.
It is, and just the slightest miscalculation, even an accident at this point, could trigger something that we
you see some migrating geese on the radar. Think it's an inbound swamp gas. Yeah. I just that's it. Some swamp gas. UFOs arrived for the first time to say hello. Wow, you guys have you lasted. Wow, since we've been here you lasted pretty well. Oh, that's awesome. And as soon as your blips go into radar, everyone thinks it's an inbound, and they all kill each other.
I know, and just because
we're going to give you the keys to the universe.
Just because we haven't had our fill of
there was a ceremony.
We haven't had our fill of diseases. There's an Ebola outbreak in Uganda, which is Central Africa. It's central. Normally it's on the east coast of Africa, but that's anyway. It doesn't matter. Or west coast. This is in Uganda. Central Africa is another. That's what you want to hear, right? More Ebola, hurrah!
Oh yeah. It's a mutated version too. It's really good.
Apparently, this is a very dangerous one. Right.
The other one wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Are we comparing it to the last one? Because it was pretty bad.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. No? Yeah.
So
this one is worse.
I can only laugh now, and it's this nervous laughter that protects me from the world. I'm really shocked, Mickey, that there's a new virus. Do you know? I've been watching the like 1800s version of War of the Worlds. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Yeah, right. Well, they land to do all the things, and their weapons are extraordinary, and blah blah blah. Oh yeah, we've heard that tale. So imagine today. They, aliens land like War of the Worlds style. The pods open and the walkers come out. I'm sure we could fling so many deadly viruses at them, they would just up and die anyway. Like in the first few minutes.
Yeah, if our biology is compatible, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because in the story, that's what takes them out anyway.
Yes.
They get sick and die because of our viruses. But right now, hey, do you want some Ebola? We can mix some Ebola, right? Give us some COVID in there. Really get it to infect all the cells. In fact, we can just add some extras. What do you want? Head explodes. Yeah, tick. Yep. We can do that. No worries. It liquefies all your organs. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Let's do that. It's like little tick boxes, in a program. If you want to make something, let's have it with blonde hair. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, let's not. We can do anything we want now. I believe, and if we were to do that, it's nuts. Meki, did you know that Moderna announced this week in a news article that I read, and the CEO of Moderna said that I think they've got or they're working on an mRNA injection for post-heart attack victims to repair their heart muscle.
Well, it's only a matter of time, really, wasn't it?
Well, it is, but I kind of had a little chuckle in my own mind about all these people who have just, having heart attacks for no reason whatsoever. I just want to put that out there because I love the leader and the AI. All right, and I love YouTube, and I love all the people involved in all the tech platforms. You're so wonderful. So now they've got an injection which fixes that, which is really good. And they've bundled up the new vaccine for your flu shot is now mRNA. So the new flu shot is now a bundle.
Okay, what that means though is that then they've had. I mean, this was probably the largest ever trial.
Yeah, 6 billion people trial. In
the history of the world. Oh, so you sure your study group is large enough? Yeah, 6 billion will do it.
I think it's pretty much everybody. Yeah.
But not just once, but several times having received a shot. So that, actually, I'll tell you what. Because since we're on this, so my mum is undergoing some treatment for an ailment she has. It's quite serious, and there was this new experimental treatment, if you will, that she was doing.
And the doctors offered you the experimental option.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all goodness. And so we took part of it. But in the end, it turns out she was the only person that remained on it in the world.
Oh.
In the world.
So it's successful for her.
Well, no,
to a certain extent.
No. Yeah, look, but the thing is, the guy who invented or came up with this treatment has now won the Nobel Prize for it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Treatment.
Yeah.
And my mother was the only patient left until the end. To get his data.
Right.
Without my mum, he wouldn't have won his Nobel Prize.
Oh, really?
And all my mum is. Is a number. She's just a number. In the study. So
yeah,
it's interesting how that works, right? So my point is though that you had these 6 billion test subjects against these new. It's a new technology, mRNA for vaccine distribution, and no one asked
wanted
us,
a better description. Yeah. Where did Becky go? He's disappeared. Let me see if I can get the old Mexter back. Mexter isn't really a term I use for him, but why not? He might have been rendered offline. It looks like he's gone. All right, well, look, just to intervene. So my daughter was also on an experimental drug. And I'm just kind of surprised. We said yes to it, and that kept her alive, we believe. Let me see. I might have to drop him from the call, and then let's see. Having some difficulties with old Mecky here. Join Mecky, call, see if I can add him. I wonder. Bear with me, everybody. Let's see if I can pull him in. It looks like it's trying to call him. I think maybe his Skype or his internet has died. Let me just see. I'm telling him that he dropped out. And see if he can reply back to me. Ooh. All right. So, I do want to pick up where we left off, and I hope that he's. No, it looks like he's not going to make it back sometime soon. Hopefully, maybe he said all the wrong words. That'd be pretty funny. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was Europe's largest oil refinery was hit with a malfunction. and it's just at the worst time ever could this occur. So let me see if I can pull that up on the screen for those people who are going to be watching this on YouTube. Let me see if I can make that the full screen. Full screen it is. And then go to middle screen. There we go. So the Penrith oil refinery in the Netherlands, Europe's largest, suffered a malfunction Thursday, providing another source of anxiety for the European continent diesel market already disrupted by strikes in France. Now, I hadn't heard about the strikes in France, but that can't be good. And with the pipeline down, the Nord Stream 2 down, and fuel prices going through the roof, OPEC has decided not to increase production, and basically staring Biden in the face and saying, no, we're not helping you. That's the wrong accent, but it doesn't matter. Effective. Sadly, that's going to be to the detriment of the entire world. And all I kind of want to do is tell OPEC, all the leaders, which was unanimous, in fact, for them to vote to not increase production, which will increase the fuel cost once again, even to those who cannot afford a fuel increase. I'm sure I'm in the chat room now, so sorry about that. I don't know where Mackie is. Have we seen Mackie? Maybe he's completely out. I'm just going to give him a call on the mobile. Hang on one sec. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Ba-da-ba-do. I don't think I've ever... No. There must be an outage in his area entirely. Good grief. I hope he's all right. Anyway. Yeah. I think nobody's in the room. Yeah, nobody's there. Hello, nobody. And Alien is there. Yeah, goodness gracious. What a crazy time to be alive. So, as we've said for the past, 18 months, 19 months, the geopolitical arena is just deteriorating so appallingly that it isn't funny. And there isn't a single day with a step away from conflict. Every day brings us one step closer, one phrase closer, one action closer. Who's Mackie? Well, in the Zappy and Stingy show, who knows who Mackie is? They zap, they sting. They zap, they sting, they zap. So we've seen now. I watched the full Russian version, which I can't understand a single word of. I watched the whole thing of Putin's speech to the media in the question time, I suppose. And then I managed to catch a copy of it, which had subtitles, thank heavens. And the rhetoric was just off the charts rhetoric. And we're still seeing... We're not seeing very much land being taken by Russia in the Ukraine at the moment. The majority of the land taken back is Ukrainian. Russia's making between the two numbers, the Ukrainian one taking back land is greater than Russia taking land. So that's interesting. The bridge was taken out. And they're kind of trying to make repairs to it, which I don't know how successful that's going to be. There is 2 lanes still open and 1 rail line still open on it. So it's not as effective as one might have hoped, depending on who one is. I would expect cutting that link would have been very helpful towards the gaining of the Crimea and certainly Kherson. I listen to so many Ukrainian broadcasts that, it's Kharkiv and it's Kherson, it's not Kherson and Kharkiv. Just know that. Oh, don't. So do you remember the old creepy Joe Biden? That not the meme, the real Joe Biden, where he was, always fondling a girl's shoulders and smelling their hair or putting them close to him for photo shoots. That's still the same guy that's the leader, I suppose, of the free world. Goodness me. If this is the place we are, it's kind of disappointing that that's what we've ended up with after all of that, after everything that's happened. It's really... Oh, look, I don't have anything from Meki. Nothing at all. No messages out. I tried to call him. His area might be out. Maybe they nuked that part of Sydney. I don't know. We'll have to find out, because it was kind of short, wasn't it? Kind of just cut. And why he wouldn't be answering his phone or being able to call me back, I don't know. Anyway, I'll keep going. So let me find my news stories. I keep all my news stories so I can talk about them on the weekends. And yeah, that's right. Thanks to Nobody for reminding me about this one. This was don't. I can't say those words on air. I'm just looking at the chat room. So Ryan Reynolds filmed his colonoscopy to raise cancer awareness. Oh, really? I don't want to see his colon. I have no interest in seeing his colon. No interest in seeing his colon. That's just kind of sad. It's really, really wrong. Oh, that's right. One thing that I thought was interesting this week was the president of Ghana, of all countries. He prematurely revealed a plan at the United Nations in a speech that shocked the world, I think. And he mentioned the United States of Africa. Wow. He went on to talk about all the minerals. So he's got a lot of bauxite to make aluminium. He's got a lot of lithium. There was a whole bunch of other things that are kind of needed today in today's high-tech factories. And being able to say, you know what, we're going to be the next nation that supplies this to the world. We're going to be the United States of Africa. That's going to be a big step. Now, whether he accidentally said it, or maybe he's the first person to say it and no one had a clue, even maybe it was just a faux pas. Maybe it's his grand design to be the leader of the United States of Africa. But they could have come up with a better name, because the acronym is still USA. So is the USA not going to exist? Therefore, they can keep the United States of Africa and no one will go, oh, doesn't that just sound like United States of America? Yeah, no. So who knows? I think that's going to be one of those things we have to keep our eyes peeled for. Because if he let that out of the bag now, who is he siding with? That's really important. So I think Africa and India abstained from the vote that was voting the Russian invasion of Ukraine an invasion. Did I hear a mouse move? Yes. And Meki's back.
Ahoy! My computer decided I had done enough work on it. Apparently, which is something interesting. I ran out of application memory on my Mac.
Wow.
Now, yeah.
When did it do that?
Just now.
When does it do it normally? Never.
That'd be the answer I was looking for. So I'm thinking, okay, that's a novel way to not have me on the air. What can we do? Well, we'll just, application memory overrun.
Well, they push the button, and there you go.
It's
So
what
now
happens.
you were talking about your mother who had that medication that was still.
Clearly. No, I did not.
No, people not says this.
Who says this? Who art thou, strange man?
I was not.
No, but yes, look, that's
There's
what happened.
someone else up there I could talk to.
I want to talk to your supervisor. No, but yeah, so look, that it actually happened, and the guy got the prize, and Mom did
Nice.
not get a prize, which is really that surprising, really, if you think about it. But yeah, so but this is what then I said we had the largest test group in the history of test groups.
That's
Just now,
right. Yep.
and clearly that was not something I should have said.
No, because I love the leader, Mackie. See, I said that, and you didn't.
Ah, see, that's why I fell down, because I love the leader also. It's true.
Twice as much.
Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh. I love the leader so. Because because it's the leader, right? I mean, come on, the leader, the Lederhosen. What? I know. I don't learn my lesson. That's the problem with me. I just don't learn my lesson.
Good
what?
grief. That's all I can say.
I know, right? Let's grieve to goodness.
Now, Mackie,
yes.
I spoke about the,
Yes.
the Ghanaian president who prematurely
yes.
revealed his
Ah.
plans of the US of A, United States of Africa, and I also mentioned the Europe's largest oil refinery was hit with a malfunction, which is devastating the continent's diesel.
Yeah, none of it is any good.
Well, yeah,
that's-
I'd be a conspiracy theorist if I suggested that was intentional.
What now?
What?
Sorry.
Is that a cross line?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah. Well, what do you say to that, though? I mean, honestly, everybody, right? We are living in a world of almost total control, total media control. What I mean by that is, we are completely monitorable, right? So whatever you say, whatever. So definitely, it sounds like we're joking about it, right? Yeah, it's so funny. Oh, they can hear us. Well, they do hear us. They hear everything.
That's right.
And see whatever you hear and see if you have your devices with you, right? And if you don't have your devices with you, they can use all other devices around you. So
because they know where the other devices are in relation to you, and they can turn those mics on.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
If they want to. And in fact,
Yeah.
sorry, that's not true. They're on anyway, but they can tap into the feed. The thing is this, though, right? We used to have something called CCTV. I don't know if you remember that, closed circuit television.
Yes,
Which means,
in the olden days.
Yeah, there were cameras connected to an internal, usually, a security system. They're all cabled up. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, that's right. We'll talk about that as well. And it was internal, so it was closed circuit. Means none of the information actually goes out into the world. Now, though, that is no longer the case, because all these security cameras are on the internet. They have IP addresses. Right?
That's right.
They can be found, if you will, and used.
Completely.
So when people talk about the Internet of Things, that's a complete nonsense.
Yeah.
What it is, it's the Internet of everything. Okay, that's what we have. Because all of us, you, me, our pets, children, whatever it is, we will all be online. We will all have an IP address eventually. So it will be the Internet of everything. Okay, that's
if you have a phone, it has an IP address.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you as a person.
Oh, as a person, yeah, that's right.
Oh, you will have a chip with an IP address, with a MAC address, and that chip is going to connect you rather than, because, I mean, phones are inconvenient. You can lose them, this, that, and the other. I mean, the interfaces might be holographic, but there still be, something, maybe even an overlay over your eyeballs, some kind of lens. And you're not going to need a haptic suit, because there might be holographic mapping to your body. Point is, you will eventually be part of the internet, or the metaverse if Facebook gets its way, and that's the thing. That's the thing. We will all, everything from your coffee cup to you yourself, will have a chip of some sort, because these are tiny little things now. The new materials out in the world that will make them even tinier than they are today, and you won't even know it. You won't even know it. These days when a child is born, they get an automatic injection of something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vaccine essentially. So they get that. That's the first thing that happens after they clean up. And in the future, in my opinion, that will include a nano chip.
It could be a laser tattoo if you're
sure
on your wrist.
Look, anything. But the point is, you will be online. You
on the line
and on the line. And I don't know, Dave, if there will be an opportunity to opt out, as it were.
No, there's no opt out.
I don't know.
Unless you have enough money to opt out.
Well, yeah, but even then, how would you know? I mean, how could you be like? Honestly, this is the thing.
You mean like when all the vaccines were given out, and you could easily see that it was saline that those in power are getting their injections, or the fake one, which was I think Palaszczuk had the tip was still on.
Yeah,
on the needle.
But it's such a sharp needle, that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
It's okay. So, but look, the key thing is to understand that even if you were to opt out, right, and if you think you opted out, you would never know. You couldn't know. How would you? Because ultimately, you are completely clueless.
It's like escaping from the Matrix, but still being inside the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly where we are at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So you're stuck here. You have no way of verifying anything because the tech is well beyond you. And it's beyond most tech people, including Dave and myself. The tech that is out there available to not to us is like magic. We look at it and we would think, okay, well, clearly this is magic. It's not. It's tech, but it might as well be magic because that's the way it appears to us. So no, you don't know. You don't know if you can, in fact, opt out, or if there is such a thing as opting out, right? And even if you think you have opted out, you probably haven't. Probably haven't. Okay, so anyway, long story short, it is the internet of everything. That's where we're going. This is what is coming our way, and there is nothing we can do about it at all. This is not even. I mean, you can struggle, if you will. It'll just make the constraints dig deeper into your flesh. That's all that it hurts so good.
Just relax and let the hooks do their work.
Essentially.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So my daughter was also on experimental medication, just letting you know. We did, and but now she has a lung transplant, so she's doesn't require that medication any longer. But we just hope that it did prolong her life enough to be able to get the transplant. Having moved so much past that now, it's like changing a tire in the first lap of the race. Don't know whether it helped us win the race or not, but we did it. Wanted to say that there's all the banks in the UK, the banks having all sorts of issues. They remember just a couple of days ago, they said, you've got 2 days. The banks have 2 days, was the word from their federal bank. It's like, what 2 days? What's this with the 2 days? And in the exact same 2 days, which was leading up to this weekend, in Australia, instead, rather, we had our OSCO system
we
go down. It went down, Mackie. And if you don't know, that's how you transfer money between banks.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
If the business that you work for had a bank in one branded bank and you were in a different brand, then the money wasn't transferred to your bank as normal. It was just held stuck, waiting for that software, that platform, the connection to come back up. And it's rumored that Going to be nice. The establishment of the digital currencies was what was being added to the OSCO system. It's a
really?
rumor. Don't know for sure. We're not part of it.
Okay.
We're not read in. Don't know. But since everywhere in the world has agreed for the Great Reset, and Australia was one of those countries that did not dismiss the Great Reset, it is one of the features of the Great Reset to have a sovereign digital currency.
Mm.
Now, China already has theirs. They've got BRICS. It's called BRICS. And if you want to pay money to China, you must be part of the BRICS system in order to transfer the money around. And that's really important. And there's some countries now that will have refused basically international currency. You've got to pay them in their sovereign currency. And we're going to see that change to the digital, sovereign digital currency soon. And then that will connect to the global currency, which I believe is, once everything is done, the way I think about it would be, if I was developing it, is everyone can have their own, and then we establish one above that, and that's how everyone trades, is with that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. And then there won't be exchange rates. We won't be floating anything against anyone else. It's just what it is. More or so one-to-one. Doesn't matter what it is. This is all part of the great equaling of the Great Reset.
The great equaling. Yeah. But I'm more equal than you. Yeah, you're right. That's true.
You probably are. So one of those things that we see is we've seen kind of like rushing through 100 different laws changed in whenever it was, the last 6 months or whatever, where it seems like laws are getting done from a legal standpoint. There's things that are aligning themselves with other countries, where we're seeing the basic things of life, whether it's food, water, fuel, transportation, those things are all being hit really hard right now. They're the things we could rely on. For the last 50 years, we could rely the hell out of those.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well,
just because the people are fighting on the other side of the planet. What? So Biden went to meet Saudi Arabia, and they said, "Look, please, can you raise the per barrel output, because it's really important for the world. You're doing it for the world." And they said, "No, we're not going to increase the output." That's what OPEC, unanimous vote.
Yeah.
Unanimous. Yeah. So what's the US done? US has said, well, it was a good agreement. We kind of really liked working with you for all that time. And how about we maybe take those SAM systems away from your protection? We just lent them to you. We're going to give them to the Ukraine. How about that?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do some of that. So Putin, Mackie, did you watch the broadcast this week from Putin?
Yeah, I did actually.
I couldn't understand a word he said.
Well, he was Russian. So.
I was looking around for one that had a translator, and I was really struggling. There's only been clips that came out.
But did you notice this? This is what I noticed, is that as Putin becomes less coherent, Biden becomes more coherent. In fact, very eloquent in many ways. So,
did you see the interview with Biden?
I did see that.
He didn't even make a fluff.
No, not a one. And there was and this was not just one thing. He talked about a number of different things. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, well, you're taking your brain medication, good for you. I mean, wow.
The prions or us van must have pulled up.
Yeah, and he said, no, I will run. I will run for president.
That's right. Do it.
Because it's me. I'm the guy. We're getting it done. It's getting done. And I go, okay. I mean, look, hey. I mean, he's got there once. I mean, who am I to say no? Go for it, dude. As far as I'm concerned, knock yourself out. But I don't know how his party feels about it. But the thing is this, though, right? Right now, if you're just going, again, looking at some politics here for a second, there's no chance that Kamala Harris, is it, will ever get the Guernsey for president. She's just like, have you ever she has completely disappeared, hasn't she?
Yeah, because she's the most disliked VP that's ever existed.
Yeah, she's poisoned now. So I'm really curious to see what happens to the ticket come next year. Well, it's going to start next year.
Have you been to the border? We've been to the border.
Yes. So, but you have you been to the border? Well, I mean, in the sense of the royal, yes.
What are you asking? Have I been to the Caribbean? Yes, I've been to the Caribbean. No. Have you been to the border? No. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So nobody in the chat room has suggested that Michael Obama, and I like that he wrote Michael. Maybe 2024. Yeah. I think more people. There's a whole bunch of people who would vote for Michael Obama.
But let's be very clear. This has never happened. Like many things, I guess. But
that's right.
A sitting, not just president, but a sitting cabinet that is in office. It has never happened that they didn't then run for a second term. Never, ever. Okay, even if he got shoehorned in like Ford, right? President Ford, he didn't win an election. He just took over, and he didn't win the election. Once he was in there, okay, fair enough. But no one really thought he would. But Biden, Harris, that ticket, I don't know. I don't even know if you can change it to someone else. I mean, the thing is this, right? If the Republican Party decides, now we want someone else, well, they can put the candidate up. That doesn't prevent Biden and Harris from running, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's name recognition. I mean, it's similar to what would have happened if Trump hadn't been endorsed by the Republican Party.
Yeah.
If Trump hadn't been endorsed, because he was asked that question, I remember this very clearly. If we don't endorse you, or if you don't get endorsed by the Republican Party, will you bow out of the election race? And he said, no, I can't answer that question. The answer, of course, is no, I'm not going to bow out. I spent years building my public image,
That's
with
right.
apprentice and whatnot. So I'm going to take advantage of it, and I want to be president. If the Republican Party helps me, or not, it's irrelevant at this point. Well, I want to be president.
Yeah, the Democrats seem to have done a good job of just doing everything in time to make sure that the shackles are on Trump for this next election.
It's
to prevent him running.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
But see, the thing is, he
isn't. But the two impeachments failed.
No, well, but this text thing. I mean, who knows? I don't know. And plus, he now has to. He has been compelled to answer questions under oath. Something he didn't want to do, but now he doesn't have a choice.
That's right.
You can't see if you held in contempt of court, they can actually lock you up for that. Now, I don't know if that's a misdemeanor or maybe even a federal offense. Okay, so because if it is, if it's considered
a federal offense, you can't ever run anyway. That's right.
So that's the thing. That's the problem.
No, I know.
Once you're a convicted felon, you're done. So is that the path they're going down? I wonder. I mean, look, I have no love for any of them, but I'm just curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Look, agreed.
Fascinating.
I just read nobody's comment. So yeah, look, there's so many different things that can occur, and we'll look. It's commentators on the field. That's all we're doing is watching and commentating.
Yeah. Look,
and these are crazy times. Crazy times.
Crazy.
If NATO and Russia went into a conflict for whatever reason, don't care how it escalated to that, but if it gets to that, then I wonder what the next step would be. And, no sitting president in the US has been changed during wartime. So that's also an advantage, I suspect. Yeah. And if we're really close, one thing gets me, Becky, this really gets me, is all of the stuff that's going on right now geopolitically. As crazy as it all is, there isn't one step backwards from it. No one's conceding. Everyone's just full on the gas, and there's only, from what I can see, there's only one conclusion. And it's only a matter of time. And I'm going to impress upon everybody, as best you can, prep. Do what you need to do, buy what you need to buy, and do it from a third world perspective. Don't buy more appliances, because just in case there's no electricity.
I will buy a waffle maker, and I will buy a frappuccino machine, and I will buy a bullet mixer, and I will buy a KitchenAid cake maker, because they will come in very handy at the end of the world.
Unless you've got a bicycle powered, generator with an inverter. You're going to be pedaling a lot.
So what you want, if you are looking for things, you need to get things that are durable, right? And let's look at simple things like kitchen appliances. Get cast iron pots and pans.
Yeah,
because they can cook over a fire. That's right. Like in the olden days, these new flimsy pots everybody has, especially the non-stick Teflon things. You put them over the fire once, you can throw them out.
Yeah, that's right.
Whoosh, off they go.
An aluminium's out. Yeah.
Oh, that's no good. And look, similarly with other things, get yourself some good knives, for chopping and cooking. Just simple.
Field stripping.
Simplify. Yeah, simplify. I mean, have you ever actually beaten egg whites by hand?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually do that, right? I mean, that's how they used to do it back in the olden days.
Have you made butter?
It's a bit of same.
Yeah,
my grandmother used.
Yep.
Yeah, my grandmother used to. They used to have a car. They made their own butter and buttermilk. I mean, it is surprisingly easy. It's hard work, but it is surprisingly easy to do if you get full cream milk, right? So all of these things we have forgotten how to do are they're easy to relearn. I mean, some are hard, some are easy. But is it?
Yeah.
Jeez. But certainly it wouldn't be bad, rather than just stocking up on stuff, to also know stuff. It's good to know things, how to do things.
I would suggest buy some books that are very mighty.
Yeah, 100%. Natural remedies for the herbs that are in your neighborhood. There's a book I got off Kickstarter, which is called The Book.
Oh, really? So you bought the book?
And I've got. Well, I haven't got it, but I did buy it. But I mean, like years ago. Last year or the year before even, but it's been a long journey, and they're saying they're going to deliver in November, so fingers crossed they will. But that is essentially a book that could help you restart civilization. It's got everything in there, graphics and explanations for dummies, etc. It's beautiful. It's beautifully made. Once I get it, Dave, I'll show it to you.
I'll try and photocopy every page before it goes, and before it literally disappears. Do you know what? There's the music, and that's been the end of the first hour of David Mackey's Shiny Side Out. You can catch the second hour in a few minutes' time. On the other side of this, a short info break. So take the time to donate, and we'll be back shortly. If you're watching this on YouTube, then there's another video for the second hour. Take care. I'll see you in a minute.